Hey, I'm Stephanie Davis here in Charleston, South Carolina. I am a licensed realtor with the Boulevard Company, and today I wanted to talk with you about what to expect during the home buying process. This is especially critical for anyone who hasn't bought a home in some time, and for you first-time home buyers, congratulations. This is an exciting time, and researching the home buying process means that you are at least considering buying a house. So congratulations, you are already taking the first step in home ownership. So I've broken the home buying process down into 10 easy steps. So we'll just take these one by one. Number one, you're going to want to meet with a lender. This lender is going to help you determine what your budget is, and knowing your budget is the key to having a successful home search. You don't want to look at homes that are more than what you can afford, and you also don't want to look at homes less than what you can afford. You want to hit that target. So my advice is when you reach out to your lender, and I would definitely talk with 2 to 3 lenders so that you can compare fees and rates. But in your initial phone call, I recommend that you tell them what you want your monthly payment to be. Start there so that they can let you know what that monthly payment would get you in terms of an overall sales price, and then work from there. There are some variables like insurance and taxes that make it where this is actually more or less a ballpark kind of figure to start with. The actual property you choose is going to determine what your insurance and taxes will be, but your lender can give you a place to start with your budget. Usually can give you kind of a range of where you want to be. So step 2, you definitely want to get connected with a licensed realtor. Realtors have been down this road many times. They're familiar with the process. They know what the pitfalls are, and they have a pulse on today's market, so they can advise you on your offer, what your terms should be, what's usual and customary for the area, and whether the pricing trends are going up or down. They'll provide comps for you. This is someone who's going to show you the way and give you confidence so that you know you are making smart decisions from start to finish. I find that people find their realtors through friends, family, coworkers, neighbors. So my advice is to reach out to the people around you to see who has had a good experience with their realtor, and usually they're more than happy to connect you with that person that gave them a great experience. If you're looking in the Charleston area, of course, I'd love for you to research me and see if maybe we could be a good fit for you. But I recommend that you meet with 2 to 3 realtors, more if you think you need to. But you're going to be looking for someone who communicates well, who you can trust, who establishes a good rapport with you, someone who's experienced, someone who you feel can lead you through this process and help you avoid pitfalls, headaches, things like that. So step 3, you're going to set up your home search. Now you have your realtor, you have your lender, you know your budget. Go ahead and decide what part of town you want to target. Maybe there's specific neighborhoods you like, or maybe it's just completely based on price range. Maybe it's within a certain radius of where you work. Maybe it's dependent on a school zone. So that's entirely up to you and the lifestyle that you're picturing for your future. But go ahead and set up your search. You can do that on Zillow or Redfin, but also your realtor can do it in your local MLS, which is going to have the most up-to-date information for the market. So you'll start your search. As these listings come in, you're going to want to make a note of the ones that stand out to you, that seem interesting, that maybe check the most boxes. But I want to caution you against having a very narrow mind. With inventory as low as it is right now. You're going to want to keep your search criteria pretty broad and not get too hung up on it must be this neighborhood, it must be this square footage, it must be this or that. I think in the beginning, it's good to tour as many homes as you can find that fit your broad search, so that as you get some home tours done, you can start to narrow down the things that are truly important to you. Maybe it's the kitchen, maybe it's the location of the bedroom, maybe it's a big screen porch, or maybe it's proximity to water or neighborhood amenities that you find really are the things that are important to you. So when I take my buyers out on tours, I like for them to choose about 5 houses, somewhere between 4 and 6 houses that we'll tour at one time. If there's more, we'll break it up into a couple of days so that the houses don't start to run together. Keep kind of a list of your top 2 or 3 houses. Some people need to look at 1 or 2 houses and they know exactly which one they want. And some people, it's a 2 or 3 month process and they look at 20 or 30 houses. So it's okay to look at a lot of houses. You just want to make sure at some point you need to do some soul searching and make sure that you're really committed to the process, because after 20 or 30 houses, if you haven't found one that you want to move into, then maybe you're just not that committed to buying a house. So it may be time to regroup at that point, but looking at 15 to 20 houses is not unusual and certainly a reasonable number of houses to help you feel confident that you have found the house that is right for you. So once you find the house that is right for you, your realtor will help you research the market. Probably they'll do the research for you and send you the comparables and the market data so that you know how many houses are on the market like that one, what have they sold for in the last few months, how many are under contract, is the inventory building, is it declining, are prices going up, are they going down, are they flat, is it usual to ask for closing costs from the buyer, things like that, closing costs from the seller, things like that, things like that, your realtor will help you put together a strong offer, especially if you're competing against other buyers. Now, once you get your offer accepted by the seller, typically the closing period is 45 to 60 days. During that time, your realtor is going to collect the earnest money from you. In South Carolina, we turn that into the closing attorney. Your realtor is going to set up your home inspections. You are going to do a termite inspection here. Your lender is going to order an appraisal for you. You're going to complete your loan application. It's a busy time and you still have your full-time job. So lean on your realtor to make sure that things are getting done in the time that they're meant to be done and that nothing gets left out. That's our full-time job so that you can continue to focus on your full-time job. For me, my approach in real estate is that having me on your team is making this process less stressful. So I make sure that I am checking those boxes for you, following the contract for you, giving you a heads up so that you know exactly what to expect every step of the way. So we have gotten the offer accepted. We have been doing our inspections. Now at this point, if it's still due diligence, you have the option to terminate the contract if you cannot come to agreement with the seller on repairs or a discounted price. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It's honestly pretty rare. And you negotiate your repairs. You go ahead and schedule a reinspection of those repairs so that you know that they've been done satisfactorily. The appraisal comes in. If any negotiations need to be made because the appraisal did not meet the purchase price, you cross that bridge when you get there. There's definitely a number of remedies that can help you overcome something like that. You're going to want to go ahead and get your homeowner's insurance policy in place, especially if you're purchasing during the summer. Here in the South and on the coast, if a named hurricane or storm comes up in the Atlantic Ocean, they will not write homeowners policies. So you're definitely going to want to get your homeowners policy squared away as soon as you have the address of the place that you're going to be buying. Next step is to call and connect your new utilities. This is an exciting time. This is in the last week or so of the closing process. And then a day or two prior to closing, you're going to do your final walkthrough of the property. Even if you've re-inspected it, this is a time that you walk through. The seller should be moved out, and it should meet your expectations as far as repairs, cleanliness, and overall condition of the property. During this time also, you should get your clear to close from your lender, and that means that the loan package has been sent to the closing attorney who prepares your closing statement. Once you receive the closing statement, your realtor, your lender, or your attorney will go over that statement with you line by line. I like for my buyers to know exactly what's on that closing statement well before we go to the closing, so that when they're at closing, they can focus on signing the papers and getting those keys. Here in South Carolina, you will close with a closing attorney, and usually it is just you, the attorney, maybe your lender, and your realtor. In years past, buyer and seller sat at the same closing table and used the same closing attorney, but that trend has kind of gone away, and now we're seeing buyers and sellers sign separately. The closing process takes about an hour. If you're financing, you're going to sign about this many papers. And if you're paying cash, then it takes 15 or 20 minutes, depending on whether or not you read all of the paperwork or if you're a person who just signs away. Here in South Carolina, once you've completed signing all of your closing documents, you will get a key to your new home right there on the spot. And at that point, you're free to go and move into your new home. So that's a great time to celebrate, of course. This process can seem overwhelming because it's new to you. There's a lot of moving parts, but hiring the right realtor really simplifies it, makes the process something that you realize is just piece by piece, day by day, you make it through. So good luck to you. You can do this. Reach out to me if there's anything I can do for you. And congrats. You're moving forward and building your wealth.